Once the police have convinced the white public that the so-called Negro community is a criminal element, they can go in and question, brutalize, murder unarmed, innocent Negroes. And once the white public is convinced that most of the Negro community is a criminal element, then this automatically paves the way for the police to move into the Negro community exercising Gestapo tactics. This makes the Negro community a police state. This makes the Negro neighborhood a police state. It's the most heavily patrolled. It has more police in it than any other neighborhood, yet it has more crime in it than any other neighborhood. How can you have more cops and more crime? Why? It shows you that the cops must be in cahoots with the criminals.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Peace, everybody. Power to the people. Welcome back to another new episode of Like It Ain't. I am John Pellum, and I have with me
Vic Virtuous, aka Vic Benito.
That's right. That's right. And soon we will also have our other special guest, Lynn Small, joining us as well. Welcome back, everybody. We're glad to have you. We weren't even going to be doing an episode this evening, but you know, I was speaking with my brothers here, and after the recent events of the last few days, we all just needed to talk. We just needed to express what we feel about these things, and also to take a moment to celebrate the victory, you know, of the Democrats winning the Georgia election. Okay, seriously, that's a victory right there. Matter of fact, do I have a round of applause here somewhere? I gotta grab my round of applause. I feel like I had one from Super MC. Because listen, I'm very proud of Atlanta. You can say what you want about these candidates, but the main thing is we needed to get Trump and his people
Up out of here.
There we go. It's late, but there's the applause. Okay. I just had to applaud Georgia because we have to change course.
Up out of here.
Out of here, dude. Out of here. So let's just begin with the events that happened at the Capitol. Let's start from there. How does everybody feel about that? Like, what did you feel when you first heard word or saw live what was happening, Vic?
To be honest, like I told you earlier this week, like I felt like I was watching a movie. It was very reminiscent of 9/11.
Yeah.
Minus the bombs and fire and explosions and everything, but it was definitely explosions going on inside, you know, the Capitol, inside the Capitol office.
Yeah. You know, they're saying nothing like this happened since like 1812.
Right.
And I'm saying that nothing like this happened ever, where for those white people that were on the fence, so that felt like, well, you know, they talk and complain about the racism and the injustices, but it can't be as bad as it once was. I mean, they had Barack Obama. That right there shows you the vast difference between how they're treated and how we're treated. Okay.
To me, I thought of it, not to cut you, but to build on what you're saying. I thought immediately about Like It Ain't. Like this really exemplifies Like It Ain't.
Right.
What we see as the reality that we live and experience, they see the complete opposite in denial and deluded. You know, you look at the situation that occurred, that couldn't have been us.
No.
And this thing of like, they're tired. I'm hearing people already say, oh, we're tired of the comparisons of, I'm tired of hearing about if it was black and brown people. Like, imagine how we felt experiencing it all these years for generations.
And ironically, this is the audacity that we have seen white people exhibit all of our lives, especially any of us that's had some white friends who are really white, You know what I mean? That's not a knock.
Right, right.
But, you know, we've seen that. Dave Chappelle even joked about it in a stand-up special where he was talking about his friend Chad, you know, who walked up to the cops high, smoking, like, excuse me, I got questions. And, you know, these people not only did they not fear the police, they were in fellowship with them. I saw a video emerge today that showed where they had the fences where all of the people initially were before they crowded the steps in the Capitol. There was an officer that was opening the fence and was waving them in.
And doing this. Yeah. Yep.
Like, so not only are they like allowing them to do this stuff, they're in cahoots. So if you have an officer of the law, like he put his political views before his views as an officer of the law. So when we say Black Lives Matter and they come in and say Blue Lives Matter,
or All Lives Matter, or whatever,
right? No, but
whatever lives matter other than
hold on. I'm saying, but specifically Blue Lives Matter. When they come in and say Blue Lives Matter and these officers want to back that, it's like you're not even totally backing it yourself, because if you're really about blue life, that means you're trying to be a good officer on the up and up that's for and about justice. Justice is supposed to be blind.
Not in this country.
Right. So how do we first of all, we wouldn't be saying Blue Lives Matter because we're not going to sit, we're saying Black Lives Matter and you're coming with this other thing.
Exactly.
We're not combating that. We're just because it's stupid. We're not saying that cops don't matter. If anything, cops do matter. That's why we're in this conversation, in this situation, because the cops keep fucking with us, messing with us. I'm sorry. I mean, I can cuss, but my mama might be watching. Sorry, mama. I get excited about this though, man, because and what's up, sister,
what's up? Blessings. Thank you for tuning in. Checking with us.
Peace. She said, yes, there was oneness with them. That's how they had free range to do whatever they wanted to do. Exactly. And I mean, Vic, you said you saw the video as well, right?
I've seen multiple videos. Just each day since the situation happened, there's been new footage. Selfies, as most people have seen, the urination on the wall with somebody, you know, urinating up against the wall.
Somebody urinated on the wall?
Oh yeah, there's a photo of that too.
Well, I didn't see that. Yep. And I mean, the dude that was sitting in Nancy Pelosi's office and
he got arrested.
A letter, and then after he took that letter, he left and took a picture with that letter. So you said he got arrested. Good.
He got arrested. Yeah, that's the news of today.
Like, that's government property. You don't know what was in that letter and you just playing around. How are you walking up in there with a Confederate flag? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, they talk about they're patriotic and they're doing it for America. But how? If you're walking in there with a Confederate flag, these are nincompoops, yo. These are nincompoops.
The fact is they've been more blatant and transparent with their racism and, you know, manipulation and hypocrisy that I don't even look at it like, you know, like I'm looking for something any different anymore. And it's been that way for a while. It didn't take for this situation or these last 4 years for me to realize that and feel that way. But it's just, I mean, obviously 45 has made it more, you know, comfortable for the idiots and the racists to do things like this.
Cult 45 now,
basically,
but with a U instead of a O. We're used to the Colt 45 with a O. That's the drink. He's the Colt 45 with the U, like Jim Jones. And big up to Isabel. What's up, sister? Big up also to Brian. I see he said the turnstile cop should be fired. Definitely. Him and many other officers, like the officer that took the selfie. You know,
at least fired. At least. They should be locked up.
My G, how were they? They were just roaming the building, chilling, taking selfies, laughing and talking. And then when the cops tried to press them, there were moments where they were like giving the officers a problem. Like the cops weren't pulling out their guns. They didn't pull out tasers. They was just like, it was like they was getting slapped around and just told what to, except for that one cop who shot that woman, you know? And it's like, I wonder what it took to make him do that. But I mean, she was breaking the window and climbing in, and bam, he just.
Yo, at this point, for anybody to want to defend any of the recent events that took place, should just like stay far away from me.
Yeah.
And as I stated on my post on Facebook, like, unfriend me, no requests. I'm not going back and forth. Like, I'm not even about that life anymore, because there's no excusing any of this at all. You see videos of people screaming, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Like, they made a mockery of BLM, this country, democracy. I mean, the list goes on and on. Pick and choose whatever one you want to, like, there's no defending it. And with this clown, each day he has a different stance. Oh, we love y'all. You're special people. We love you. Go home. Just be at peace. We're going to try to conduct law and order and peace. But the next day you see him, oh, well, you will get reprimanded and dealt with, that we don't condone this. Like, each day is something different. He doesn't care about y'all.
No.
He cares about none of you.
No.
And what will it take for y'all to wake up? Until, like, I mean, I guess it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
A lot of them won't. And you know what's also crazy is that even after this siege that was waged on the Capitol, you still had some Republicans, when they reconvened with the electoral process that they were doing, you still had some that were there to pout and make their case about voter fraud. Like, that's crazy. Still, like, these are supposed to be government officials, leaders, but there wasn't any government fraud, or nor was there evidence of government fraud. But here you are, after this siege, after this madness, and you're still like, yeah, you know what? Actually, Trump won. They're dumb. That's what helped them lose this election, my dude, is because they made their own people feel like, well, we can't trust the election because all this stuff is rigged. So some of them might not have even voted. Because for why? Vote for what? If their president got played in the election, the same thing's going to happen to the people in Georgia. I mean, it's dumb.
It's the alternate universe for them, man. Like, their reality is the flip side of what our reality really is. And that's the bottom line.
You mentioned something about the chants. I saw some video footage of the people, the crowd, the insurgents. They were chanting, "I can't breathe."
Right.
So, okay, they love to take what's ours. We come up with something and they remix it.
Black lives matter. Blue lives matter. Right. All lives matter. It's always combative. It's anything other than what we stand for.
We make a statement and they say, yeah, but that's what their return statement is, or their reaction always is. It's a yeah, but. Because blue lives matter and all lives matter is a yeah, but. There is no yeah, but. You know, and I hope that more people get it. Actually, you know what? At this point, I almost don't even care if more people get it.
That's what I'm saying.
I just want to connect and find more of us. We need to find more of our people, more of our community, because that's what matters. These fools don't matter. We have to take over in our own way. Like, yo, the president was building up towards this and he kept naming this date. They kept talking about this date. Some of the protesters had shirts with the date on it and what they were doing.
The writing was on the wall.
And on the t-shirts.
Literally. And he's a coward. He's not a tough guy, as my father would say. He's not a tough guy. You know, there's been so much that this man has dodged against, whether it be taxes, whether it be going into the service, whether it be, you know, uprising these people and encouraging them to start this whole, you know, treason and insurrection. And where did he go? Back to the office and just watch from his office while everything took place.
He's a punk. You're right. He told him, he was like, I'm gonna be marching
I'm
with you.
right there with you.
And he was like, psych. Like, and then he just bounced and went back into his hole. And no, they don't care about us. They've never cared about us, you know? And for the 3 or 4 black people that I did see in some of them pictures, the hell are you doing?
Oh, I had a few of them on my IG to this day that I've gone back and forth with a few of them, and that's what I mean. Like it's a lost cause at this point. There's no reason to even go back and forth. Like I had to unfriend somebody who was basically like a lurker on my page. I call him a lurker, just lurking around the page, doesn't communicate, nothing. And she posted on her page yesterday all the supposed accomplishments that this man has provided for this country and his people, about black people, and put them in a position of work, and the Latinos, this and that. And I'm like, nah, get out of here with that. You still at this point, it's just like, you're out of here.
Yeah,
out of here.
You're right. Yeah, out of here. I mean, dude, I wasn't surprised, but it infuriated me that these people just marched in like they did. And they marched in by his order. He ordered that. Then they marched in just carefree. You know, like when black people make a move like that, where they're about to storm in or raid something or try to take over, they recognize that this situation is do or die. Like, I might get killed in this moment, but I'm making the sacrifice for my people or for my family or for my whatever.
Right.
These folk were just like la-di-da-di-da. And they talk about us rioting, looting. Vic, did you see were they damaging anything there or taking stuff, or did they just walk in and walk out cleanly?
No, it was a little bit of everything. Walking in, walking out. Like I said, the urinated on the wall. There was glass broken. I mean,
right, glass broken. All types of, like, come on, dude. Like, that's I heard somebody yell. They were like, somebody yelled out, "No graffiti, no spraying, no vandalism." Word, like, so see, they're so selective with everything, because it's like, y'all talk about you're patriotic, and that you booed Colin Kaepernick and got him out of the league.
He was a bastard. All the bastards that kneeled and disrespected this country, unpatriotic.
He just kneeled. He kneeled in a silent protest. And here y'all come marching into the Capitol, weaponized, with all types, with Confederate flags, and taking government documents and government property. You had senators ducking behind seats and tables.
You see, and I appreciate Mikkel's statement and the comments below. The thing is, like, with some of these people that I've had the exchange with, there were people that were good friends, or so I thought, or family of mine from way back. And it's like, that's why I said, this man has made it comfortable for a lot of people to show their true colors. And it's like, you don't want to necessarily go to the delete button right away, because you want to somehow try to, you know, and people are free to have their opinion. That's not the issue. It's just when you're dealing with people who are just so indignant, and like, this man can do no wrong and justify every single thing that either him or his affiliates, you know, conduct or whatever. Like, I can't go there with you, because it's like, then you hear these people even saying that some of these people weren't really true Trump supporters, that they were Antifa or whoever in disguise.
Go to that too.
It's okay. Just, there's always
Antifa.
an excuse.
Antifa. What in the world is that? It don't sound like something somebody black came up with, first of all.
Exactly.
Okay. They keep trying to connect it to Black Lives Matter. It's like it's this thing they've made up, and then they keep evoking it and bringing it up and blaming it for stuff. You know how awesome it would be, dude, if black people could, like, create some type of thing to blame everything on and get away with it. Because they said we blame everything on racism, but that's real. But imagine if, like, they're just, whoa, Antifa. They were literally chanting F Antifa. Anyway, let me get to the comments real quick, because you mentioned the comments, Vic. So Kandaka said, I personally believe that he used them as pawns. He thinks they're trash on the low. he would never associate with supporters in real life, without question. And Mikkel also said, don't waste your breath, Vic. It's not worth the brain power
No,
talking
it's
about
not.
them fools.
I'm all open to a difference of opinions, but like intelligent conversations. And I have no excuse. I can give no excuse or no pass for somebody who just straight up racist and closed-minded.
Yeah.
Like we can have a difference of opinions. It's not about that, but it's just I can't with the straight ignorance and one-sided views and
Yeah.
No, it's no point. There's no point.
There's just no point.
Tunnel vision.
Anti-fascist. Yeah. And for me, I'm done giving labels. I'm trying to be done, because I feel like everyone tries to give everything a label. And once you
Yes.
label it, then it's like that thing can't be anything more outside of that label, in your opinion.
Right.
Even
Right.
if that thing grows beyond it. I feel like I hear an echo.
Oh no, everything sounds straight on my end.
You good? We good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyway, it's like this is so much I could say.
Hey, we still got a good what, 40 minutes or so left. Floor is yours, brother. Go ahead.
Is there anything you want to say?
brother, man.
Because I just feel like
I just know when, like I told you, when this first went down, like I couldn't run to the phone other than just watching my boy Brian Tyler Cohen, who's a journalist, my favorite journalist out there, who was reporting the news as it was happening.
Right.
And but I just was taking everything in and was like, wow, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't shocked. Because like you said, the writing was on the wall. You go through the tweets, the videos. I mean, this has been coming for weeks. Everything about the election being rigged, supposedly rigged. This is not a surprise to most people, to most, and I just took everything in, and I just knew, like I told you, with this whole, welcome to 2021, like it's gonna be a brand new year. Everything is, this stuff is gonna spill over from last year with the pandemic, with all this nonsense going on.
Yeah.
It's not gonna just magically disappear with a blow of a daffodil and light just swoops over the city and over the burbs, and we just into a new reset button of a year. No, like this stuff is gonna spill over, and it's gonna continue. It's not gonna stop on the 20th once Biden gets in office. It's going to only continue.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And it's up to us to, now that we're more aware, we can't blame anybody else now. We're more aware. So we have to hold these government bodies accountable. And we, more than anything, have to hold our people and our community accountable, because
Absolutely.
I really feel like directly controlling our destinies, it's us. It's not the government. Because think about all the corrupt presidents or corrupt politicians that have governed over us for our lifetime, our parents' lifetime, and their parents' lifetime. That stuff to some degree doesn't change. And the struggle was still the same struggle usually across the board. Unfortunately, even when Obama was in, because they held him and restricted him from doing so much, when somebody good gets in there, it's like, you can't just do the things you would want to do to make everything better, because you have all these restrictions. You have the system preventing you from doing your job for the people. They're supposed to work for the people, and those people that we saw raiding the Capitol, none of them seemed like us. And I'm not just saying black. None of them seemed like our type of folk. People, thoughtful, caring people. Do you know how many times we've lost elections?
Right.
And we just took it and moved forward? Really, every year.
Yeah.
Maybe except for Obama in some people's cases, but pretty much every year. Not every year, every 4 years, excuse me. We don't get the candidate we want, or we get the lesser of the two evils. That's another thing. This will be the last year. Well, this is the last time we should ever be voting for the lesser of two evils for any spot or seat in government.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Same
Brian
here.
says, how ironic that 45 is not attending the inauguration like Andrew Johnson did when Lincoln left office. That is a message to the racist followers. Wow, I didn't even think of it like that. That's interesting.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, and I see Mikkel said, I'm even more empowered to build the profitable business and to build the profitable business and to help others in my community. Yeah,
That's
I
what
feel
it's
the
about.
same.
That's where it starts. Yeah.
It's about empowering each other, working together, utilizing each other.
Mhm.
I feel like there are more people that are open to like work with each other and collaborate and barter and trade instead of just, well, this is what I do, and if you want my services, this is what it costs.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes it is that bottom line because we all got bills to pay,
Right.
but that mentality only keeps us at the level of paying bills.
Mhm.
It never gets us beyond that, and it don't get us to the point where all the bills is paid off either.
It's
That's
it's
why we're
it's
so desperate with that.
it reminds me of the pandemic. Like this fool never understood that dealing with the pandemic first would open up more of the opportunity, potentially more of the opportunity to conduct the businesses and go back,
Of course.
not necessarily back, but to a different type of solution for economically,
Mm-hmm.
for the community. So yeah, no, that's a good point. It's a
Yeah,
good point that you're
no.
making. It reminds me of that.
Yeah, and the way his presidency is ending, we should have seen this coming because his entire presidency was a shit show. Okay? And
Like,
we
why
knew
are
it
so
was
many
going to be
people
that.
surprised? Yeah.
We knew it was going to be that from the very beginning. But the way it's ending in this just catastrophically, ridiculously terrible way,
Mhm.
it sums him up. It sums him up and the people that follow him. They're foolish. He doesn't care about them. Like you said, he literally said, "Go there in March. I'll meet you there." And his ass, then he never showed up. He was
And then
somewhere chilling,
two, two,
watching it all.
2 days later, he's downplaying and discrediting them for like what he orchestrated and
Right,
stood behind and supported.
right.
It's crazy. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So what do we have here? It's Mikkel said, it's important though that we need to ask for what we're worth and make sure we support each other, meaning we should look for Black businesses and or small businesses before going to Amazon. Yeah,
Good
I've
point,
been,
Mikhail. Good
yeah.
point.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Vic?
I would agree. I would
Yeah.
agree. I mean, I've said it, and like I said, I've never really been the political guy, but with
Mhm.
little messages and verses that I've written, I've touched on that, like how everything starts at home,
Yeah.
within your community, within your family. Let's support your own, you know.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like you said, it's not just our Black and brown brothers and sisters, but it's your community within us at home too, your
Mhm.
families.
Yeah.
So I
You know,
agree.
it's interesting that these people, these haters, we'll call them. I won't just say white people because it's more than just that, but they have more love and respect for animals than they do for us.
Hmm.
You know?
That was clear with the whole Breonna Taylor case, with the wall being acknowledged before,
Mm.
you know.
The wall. The wall was acknowledged more as a victim than the actual woman who lost her life, the innocent woman who lost her life. And then here they are months later, storming the Capitol, chanting,
I
I
can't
can't
breathe.
breathe and say her name. They also said that
Say
as
her
well.
name, right? With the young lady that lost her life, the white lady.
What
Did you
white
get her name? That the one that got shot in the neck. I think that was the one they were talking about, right? Or it was someone else?
shot in the neck? You mean the girl that got killed?
The one that got killed. Yeah, I believe she got
Oh
shot in the
yeah.
neck.
I
Yeah.
don't know if they were chanting for her because it all happened at the same time, pretty much. Really?
That's yeah.
Wow,
Yep.
that's some same time. Wow. So she got shot 1 minute, and the next minute they're chanting, say her name.
Mm-hmm. You see that? You didn't even, yeah, yeah. It's how crazy it is. You can unpack this whole situation daily and come up with like it's crazy, but it's nothing, it's really nothing new.
Yeah.
It is in a sense because this is the first time that something like this happened with the
But it
Capitol,
isn't.
but it's not really, yeah,
It's nothing new. It's
no.
nothing new. It really isn't. And I want to take a second to say that I'm very proud of Georgia.
Yes.
I'm very proud of my cousin Jonathan Gardner for him and his involvement with the Democrats in Georgia and the election out there, you know. And I'm proud of the people. I'm proud of Stacey Abrams. Oh, Stacey.
Salute, salute. But John, for a minute before you go forward, can you mention to the people who may not have seen last week's episode with John, just to mention how old he is and how involved he is with his community and with the fight?
Well, okay, so Jonathan Garner, who is my cousin, I'm thinking he's like in his mid-20s. I don't remember his exact age, to be honest, but he works with a lot of Democrats out in Georgia. Even before this election, he was working on the run in the candidacy for Hillary Clinton. Okay, so he even ran for a small office before, and might run again someday. Who knows? I would love to help him with that. So he's a young man who's active in his community and is politically active, you know, and was being proactive to try to get other people in Georgia to vote as well. So we brought him on the show right before the election to speak to that, to put more of that good air in the ethos about voting, you know? And that's a beautiful thing. Like, I really appreciate that young man because we need more of him.
That's what I was saying. That's why I wanted you to shine a light on that, because it starts at home with the families, the babies within your community. The conversations like this, platforms like this, where we just build and discuss things where they try to suppress, you know, sometimes in the media, a lot of times in the media, or in your schools, at your jobs, you know, at your churches. A lot of this is suppressed and it's not really addressed. So yeah, we definitely got to spread the word, and it starts at home. It starts with the youngest ones first, the babies.
Yeah, it really does. And
you see the turnout for the electoral votes in Georgia, you know?
Yeah, it was serious.
A lot of people who never even thought to vote or just get involved.
And we're going to bring him back on for another episode, because he said he would love to come on. He wants to speak even more directly about the exact counties that really tipped the scale when it came to this election. You know, he wants to speak to it from being out there in Georgia and speak about moving forward. Because my brother he was already talking to me about 2022. And I love that, because I know that myself and a lot of voters, unfortunately, through the years, we voted for presidents and that was it. And you have this young man who's like, no, that's really the beginning, or that's the tip of the iceberg, you know? So I love that. And I hope he inspires others. And yeah, just don't forget to vote again next year. Exactly. So that's beautiful to me, and that's inspiring. And for me as an OG, I'm sure for you too, Vic, that it made me feel great to see, you know, somebody from that generation doing
Absolutely. And
you
just
know,
as I stated last week, having the conversation with my nephew about his state of mind with everything that happened with these past few months with Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and just having these conversations again, just open dialogue, you know. It's helpful.
It's very helpful. And
it just for that misconception of the youth not being involved or being lazy and not being informed, you know, it takes for us, like you said, the OGs to really, you know, just each one teach one and build with them, because not every young adult has that guidance or that motivation to aspire to learn or to, you know, push forward like a Jonathan. And it really takes for us to help with that process, I believe.
I totally agree. And I also think that along with the stigma of, oh, the young kids aren't doing anything, or these millennials ain't up to nothing, there's also this stigma that the OGs, you know, don't want to connect with them, or, you know, there's not this olive branch extended to them like it once was, because the OGs used to seem like, when I was growing up, it felt like they took pride in passing down information and knowledge to us, whether we took it or not. They knew that as long as we heard it, eventually it was going to come into play in our lives, and we would understand it better somewhere along the line, you know? OGs, including myself, need to get back to mentoring the younger people without question, you know, and people like Vic and his wife who are parents, they're mentoring, you know, directly when it comes to their own children, you know, and then those children can be examples to other children. Like, we sometimes may downplay or not really recognize how much influence we can have on society or a community.
How much influence the kids can have on us, how much strength they have.
Ooh. Because really, it's all about them.
Yes.
It's this is all for them now. This is not for us anymore.
That's right.
You know, we're in it, yes, but you're a parent, so you know, this is not this. It's for them. You know,
Absolutely.
and I'm so glad that generation. They seem, for the most part, they seem a lot more evolved than we were, just when it comes to our language of the things we would say to each other. Like, there's words that we would say back in the day that now we know aren't friendly words, or they're racial epithets, you know, when before it was just like, no, this is how we talk, and this is what we hear in the music and the entertainment and around the way. But these kids are like, no, that's not right, or no, you know, they recognize early on. So hopefully we keep evolving, because we could see there's a group or a clan or a cult of people that are stuck in the same place, and that place is from like the 40s and 50s and 60s.
And the scary thing about it too, I touched on this last week, one of the things that we have to do is really address mental health. Because as disgusting and as scary and dangerous as it is, a lot of these people that we saw on TV this week advocate and teach these same things to their kids. You know, I've heard some people say, like, wow, imagine the kids at home actually watching this on TV right now. The scary thing is, a lot of these people you see are teaching and training their children to do these exact same things.
Yeah.
Not just when they get older, but right now. Right now.
Yeah.
So these are things that we really have to address, not sweep under the rug. Like you talk about our OGs, especially within the Black and brown community. Some of these things are looked down upon and like ignored.
Yeah.
You know, counseling, therapy, you know, like just really frowned upon and not addressed. So this is something I really encourage for you, myself, Mikkel, anyone watching right now, to really educate the babies as much as possible. Don't keep them in like a shell and away from things like this, because this is the reality that's going on in our country, unfortunately. You know, I've already spoken to my kids about what took place. I showed them some of the video of what's going on, and I broke things down step by step, video after video, what's going on right now. I don't want them to go outside literally and hear from the wrong person or see the wrong type of situation and learn differently.
Right.
So
no, that's awesome, dude. And that's what I hope most parents are doing, and not hiding this from them. Because in this society, the way we've been conditioned, we sweep that under the rug with the kids, but we'll sit there and teach them about Santa Claus and all this stupid stuff like that isn't real. And don't get me wrong, I understand the fun in Santa for children. I was a kid once myself. But it's like we will celebrate and keep pumping these fictitious things without giving them the reality. You know, or when we have, or like for some parents, it's a whole thing to break the news to the kids that Santa's not real. Come on, man. Like, break the news to the kids that this whole thing is not real. Like, we are in the Matrix. Choose a pill. It's either the red pill or it's the blue pill. Like,
or unfortunately, like I said, a lot of it is real, and we can't ignore the fact that it's real, that it's on our TV screens. It's happening in reality, in real time.
Speaking of that, you know that some of these Republicans are actually trying, Mikkel said someone said this, was actually trying to say that this whole thing was an act that happened at the Capitol. It was staged.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they had people there in disguise and all this. It's always an excuse. It's always a way to cop out.
This was no, this was real. This really happened. This was not staged. You know what I'm saying? And also I want to say real quick about this show and this platform. I want to big up Like It Ain't for a quick second, because there's been moments like this where these things are happening and I start speaking to my collaborators and we're like, let's do an episode right now. Tonight we weren't even supposed to do an episode, but here we are, because this platform is for this. It's for voicing our thoughts and our feelings. Then we had an episode, a very beautiful episode, at least 4 or 5 episodes ago, that was about Black fathers, you know? And this show, we've always said we want to give people their roses and their flowers while they're here. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, and that's what it comes down to. And when we talked about Black fathers, we talked about, Steve was one of the Black fathers that Nicole spoke about, actually. What's up, Steve? So he said on point about
What's going
Santa,
on, Steve?
and he said many are saying the same thing about the virus. It's a hoax. We'll get to that in a second. Okay. So back to the Black fathers real quick. So I want to salute the show, because we had a moment to salute several Black fathers, and one of them was Steve Davis, and another one was Dr. Martin Drew. And I just want to big him up. I want to salute him, and I want to say that we love you forever and always, and rest in heaven, sir. Like it's a beautiful thing to me that we were able to big him up and talk about him as a Black father, and he was able to see that, you know, while he was here, and that's what it's about. And I just want to big up the Drew family as well. You know,
Salute.
We love y'all.
Respect.
Yes. So now, yes, R.I.P. Pop Drew. Yes, Steve, you already know. So now this whole thing with the hoax, he said, with the virus being a hoax, they were saying that from the beginning, though, Vic. There were people from the beginning that were saying this was a hoax.
But I've heard people that support him say that, oh, he never said that. He never came out his face and said it was a hoax. Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yep. That's what anything the man does is either justified or denied. Either way. We're missing the point. We're the ones that's being manipulated by the media and given false narratives about the man. He's the tough guy, but he's the victim at the same time.
You know, if Mikkel and I had children, one thing I would definitely tell them is don't trust someone who can never admit that they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Period.
Absolutely.
And that's Trump. That's these people. I saw a video from Hillary Clinton from when she was running against him, and she was like, when he lost this election, whatever election she was talking about, when he lost this one thing, she was like, he said it was fraud. When he lost this, he said it was fraud. When he didn't get an Emmy for The Apprentice, he said it was fraud. He just kept going with fraud. Every time he
each one of them
something, it's fraud. And he joked right there, and he was like, that's right. And I should have won that Emmy. Blah, 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 blah. And it was just like, so he can never be wrong. He can never lose. And that's literally the opposite of what life really is. You will definitely be wrong. Right. And you will definitely lose sometimes. But to me, that's how you become a greater victor. Hey, Victor. Just kidding. But seriously, that's how you become, you know, like every person who has had great success in whatever business or area of their life, it happened because of their failures and how they responded to those failures.
Yes. Character. This is what I
always
always go back to. You'll always hear the same from me. Character. Character. You'll always hear within the podcast, within Like It Ain't, Super MC, Reality. I'm always going to go back to that.
Always
going back to that.
Yep. And speaking of going back to, let's go back to a couple of comments. I saw Mikkel says there's something to be said about explaining reality to kids. You don't want to quash their beliefs of the world, but you don't want to send them out into the world unprepared.
Right.
Without question.
On point.
And then Lynn said, what up, Lynn? He said he could tell them the sun rises in the west. That's in the East. They believe him even though they can verify the truth. Yo, yeah. That's exactly it, Lynn. He gets it. That's exactly it. He can literally tell them 2 + 2 is 5. He can go like this. 2 + 2 is 5. And as long as he's saying it, even though he's showing 2 + 2 is 4, they're still going to be like, yes, sir. Yes, massa, it's 5.
What did he say? I could stand out on such and such place and shoot somebody and still have my loyal supporters?
Come on.
Not lose any supporters?
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy has smacked these around. Like I've never seen anything like this.
I know.
As irrational and as idiotic as the man is, I've never seen such a master manipulator in my life.
Yeah, but no, okay, so here's the thing about that. I agree with you. He is a great manipulator. But I also think that he's not really that much of a great manipulator, because with his businesses from back in the day, he didn't start from nothing. He started with money.
True.
You know, he had
Facts.
money from his, okay. So if we all started with millions of dollars, I'm sure we could become great businessmen as well. You know what I'm saying? Because how could you go bankrupt but still be considered a great businessman? That's
Right.
because you're putting these smoke screens out there all the time. You know what I'm saying? These falsehoods, you know? And then at the same time, when he's sitting here telling the people it's this and it's that, and he doesn't believe half of this stuff himself. Like, I think that some of the stuff that works for him, it almost works by accident. And it works because he's representation. I knew he was going to win presidency because I'm like, he's America. Literally, if you went to look up America in a dictionary or an old school encyclopedia or anything, it would have his picture and the biography of his life. So of course they fell for him. It was like America just jumped out to them and was like, hey, here I am. And they just started cradling his sack and loving it up and
hugged up. Oh yeah.
So he was right place, right time, because the right place, right time was also right after Obama. And these people were like, Obama's not American. They listen, you already know.
Direct response to Obama.
So this was a rollover of that as well. It was a perfect storm for him. And that storm, he keeps the chaos keeps benefiting for him within that storm. Well, it did up till now. Because now the people who once kind of were mum or silent about going against him are now like, nah. Dude,
that's because he can do nothing more for them. That's why. It's not like they're so brave and like they've seen the light.
They're definitely not brave.
You know? Mitch McConnell's and yeah.
I know why you said that, because I feel like there's been a wave of people saying stuff like that these people are brave. Brave?
No. The end was near. There's nothing more that he can provide for them, so they jumped ship to save their own hides. It was the Titanic in 2020, 21.
Yo, for real. He led the chance against Obama, right, Brian? And Mikkel said, and let's not forget the birth movement he continued to feed. Like, it was crazy that he could come out and just say, oh, Obama's not from this country. He's blah, 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 blah. We need to see his birth certificate. And someone actually backed that up. Like, you're stupid. How could he have gotten this far in government without being a citizen? Like, don't you he wouldn't understand there's rules to this because he's never had to live by any rules. You know, to me,
he's never been held accountable, like his niece said.
No, but he might be. Now, see, I think they don't have the time to impeach him. But for somebody like him, his impeachment is people turning their backs on him. Like even his VP is like, dude, come on, man. Come on. Like, nah, it's over. Lynn said, issue is that do not see us people of color as Americans. Okay,
and that's been throughout history. That's been throughout history from day one.
Right. We aren't Americans. I don't want to claim that anyway. We just live here. Like, I am not part of this funk. I'm good. Like, we're going to build. It's like people that claim sovereign. We need to just build and cultivate our own.
That's right.
Our own agriculture, our own economics, our own everything. I mean, come on. Imagine if we pulled back all the black people in the NBA, in the NFL, in music, and in all of entertainment, and was like, we're creating our own Hollywood, our own music industry, our own NBA, our own everything. That alone would create the funds for an empire. If LeBron and all them left, as tough as it would be at first, because see, they try to make it seem like if you don't do it within the confines of the big companies, the NBA, the this, the that, you're going to be a D league. You won't be anything. But they won't be anything if all of us just left. What's the NBA going to be without all their star players? And we could do that in every industry, the fashion industry, every industry. We are kings and queens. And this needs to be the last moment that we are treated anything otherwise, other than. Let me go back to the comments. I'm sorry. I'm just getting.
I was looking at some of them too.
Vic is just letting me go. Thank you, though, brother. Steve said his mouth will be on fire once he leaves office. Gonna be saying all types of garbage. Yeah, he might.
That's going to be interesting to see because the thing is, he's had, and that's why I think he's going to ride the wave as long as he can with trying to stay in office, because he has the presidency as a shield from what awaits him once he leaves office.
Yeah.
With having to deal with the law and, the tax issues and all the treason, the insurrection, all this other stuff is going to be dealt with accordingly once he leaves. I feel once he leaves office. And I don't think it's really going to stop. I think he's seen the power that he has with the cult following. So he's going to start some other sections of things. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. But to add on to that, I also think what he's seeing, which scares him, is that there's now a bunch of people that don't give a damn about him. There's now a bunch of people that have tuned him out. That's even more reason why his recent tweets that led up to this date of what they did, of what he was saying they were going to do to the Capitol, not everybody paid attention to it, because once he lost the election, people turned him off. They was like, oh, he's just going to be this jerk off. He's just going to keep talking and be doing stupid stuff, but he's out of here in a minute.
Right.
So we tuned him out, and he can't stand that. He may have his followers, but the issue is his kryptonite is that he's greedy. So he's going to always want more.
Right.
And he won't ever be able to be satisfied, because he won't ever get us. That's for damn sure. Like,
what was that book by his niece called? Never Enough or something not enough?
Yeah, I forgot the name of it. Crazy as Lynn said, crazy as it seems, interrogation killed the black community. Interrogation killed the black community. We were self-sufficient up until then. We did not them from anything. We didn't need them for anything. Nah, we didn't. And that got lost. Like, Vic, our ancestors, and I don't mean from thousands of years ago, I just mean like great grandparents and stuff. The way they made money usually was from their skill sets. Oh, I'm good with my hands. I'm a carpenter. Oh, I'm good with electricity stuff. I'm an electrician, and we got past that because they started conditioning us that we need to work in these offices and for these companies, not for ourselves. I mean, think about it. The school systems don't teach entrepreneurship.
This is what I was saying earlier. Yes. Yeah, no, this is what I was talking about earlier. Same point that you're making now.
It's like, I don't understand. Why are you not teaching? Because we're teaching calculus, we're teaching algebra, things that the average person will never use in their life ever again. I never used most of the stuff, and they would always say, well, it's for expansion of the mind, some of it as well. What really? Because I could expand my mind on learning something useful. Don't just run this exercise with me and then say, "Oh, it's for expanding your mind." Teach us about entrepreneurship. Teach us about credit, having good credit,
saving,
not being in debt, having a savings. Like, teach us that, because you sit there and show us this image of the American dream and the house and the white picket fence and all that, but you don't ever really seriously show us how to do it independently. You just say, well, you have to go to high school and then you need to go to this college, because they're institutions that make money, and that money sometimes siphons back into the government, into their constituents. But where are the people really getting help? Do you know how many people have degrees and they're just like, well, I have a degree, but
yeah, they think life is,
man. Mikhail said, I was watching an interview with Tyler Perry. He was saying that he would hope that even though we are not integrated, he would hope that we can look back into our communities first before we look outside into spending our money. I agree with that. But it's not easy, because we are conditioned to go with the name brand, with the big brand, you know? And if we go from one brand, like let's say if we stopped eating McDonald's for some reason, I don't eat it anymore, but let's say we stop eating McDonald's, we don't go and say, okay, well, let me go find a black restaurant or something. We say, well, let me just go to Burger King. We go to the next big one. You know,
but the thing with that is, and I agree with you, but then for somebody else's point, well, the healthier choices are always so much more expensive. I can't afford that, and that's been generations now.
Yeah. So ironically, you know, and you know what? Ironically, crazy. I'm starting to that used to be true, but when you really get more in depth on exactly what you're getting, or you're going to like farmers markets and stuff like that. It isn't that much more expensive than your regular spending on groceries and food. That's just what people say for so long, because when you go to Whole Foods and get all your food, well, they're gonna charge you, because now it's this fancy thing and you're eating healthy. So guess what? You're paying what you're weighing, you know. But if you go to a farmer's market, it's not like that. Lynn said they can't teach us that. They need us plugged into the matrix and still subservient, without question.
Well, this is why I say it starts at home within us to, you know, each one teach one.
Yes. And again, that's why, another reason why I love this show.
Platform, yeah.
I love this platform, because we can discuss these things and keep discussing them, you know, and push the conversation forward, because trust me, we may have these discussions, but within this, we're also like, okay, what else can we do? What next? What can we do to solve these things? Okay. So anyway, yes, hence the importance of Black farmers. Black farmers is important. And anybody in the chats, if you know anyone that has a Black-owned business, please share their link or their website in the chats for everyone to see, so that we can keep sharing this, because we have to work together.
Yeah, definitely.
We need each other. You know, I'm just going to say, like, on a support level, when it comes to like online support, you know how easy it is for somebody to click like or share a post or comment, but we're all too cool.
Or post a meme or whatever it is.
But we're all too cool for school. We see the stuff, but we won't comment. Support like that type of support, it's so major, because then when investors come talking to me or anybody about investing in your work, they want to see your numbers. They want to see how many people are interacting or liking your work. You know? So that support, and it's funny that this person just said word. Shout out to DJ Kava, because Kava, I was speaking about you in particular. I was thinking of you. He routinely supports our content and shares it. And it's a simple thing, and he doesn't have to. Even if he did it never again, I would appreciate that he ever did it, ever. But that kind of stuff means so much, because
it really does, yeah.
We got to do that with each other. I want to share more people's content. I wish people would send me their content.
Same here. Please, by all means.
I will.
Any of y'all, anything that you have going on, any type of business, any aspirations or dreams, you need to contact any one of us for help. It's definitely not an issue or something you should be embarrassed about. If you need help with anything, please.
Help
You got to start from
collaborating.
somewhere, from the bottom up. We've
Yeah.
all started from the bottom and just never stopped growing. So,
That's right.
hey,
This is a community, and everyone here, y'all are a part of that community, you know? So please, at any time, reach out, you know? Thank you, said y'all stuff is dope, bro. Thank you,
appreciate it.
brother. And
Appreciate
that
it.
means a
Thank
lot
you.
coming from him.
Much love. Yeah.
That's another dude that I have known and respected for a very long time as a
It's
MC,
respect.
as a creative, as a DJ. Oh my God.
So,
He's got to be on Super MC eventually. Anyway, so we are going to end for the night. I just want to, is there any last things you'd like to say, Vic, closing out for this evening?
man, I was just engulfed by everything that you were saying. I mean, when you get in that zone, it's very informative, very therapeutic to just the nutrients, the mental nutrients, and the support and supportive energy that I've needed throughout the week. And I appreciate you, aside from the platform, for reaching out, checking in, and just encouraging each other. You know, it's like you said, we're not too cool to just keep building and connecting with one another.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It
Yeah.
really doesn't stop.
And tell your brothers you love them. Like, Vic, I love you, bro.
Love you too, brother. Thank you.
know
And
what I'm
that's what we need more of. We need, like I said earlier, within the Black and brown community, mental health, just being more expressive. And for those who have an issue and struggle with that, it takes each one of us to try to pull each other in and be there for one another. You know, because some people don't always have all the answers or a way to start or get their feet off the ground. So, yeah.
I agree.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate you too, man. And listen, everybody, please make sure you go to Vic's Facebook page or Instagram page to go watch, or I should not say watch, I should say listen. Make sure you go listen to Vic's podcast, Victory is Ours. It's amazing. Okay, it's amazing. And you get a more in-depth idea about his world and his life, because you see him on these platforms and he talks and he expresses and he has fun. But the Victory is Ours podcast goes even further in depth.
Totally different from, yeah.
So check them out, and listen.
Thank you. Salute to both of you.
Thank you. And tomorrow night, we will be doing Super MC. That's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I got a story to tell. It's the episode about hip hop storytellers. So you already know there's gonna be some Slick Rick in there. That's just a given.
No doubt. Hey, and I gotta send the same flowers back to this brother right here. Like, this platform has allowed me to come on and be expressive in a different type of way that I normally am, or like take me out of my comfort zone. And it's a side of me that's always been here, but I haven't always either like jumped on a platform like this to be more expressive with this type of content, which is reality and things we all go through. So, and then at the same time, the next day he provides a platform for me to just have fun and be expressive in that context of hip hop and good music and that therapeutic aspect of, the nutrients for the mind and for the ear. So him and his wife are incredible, amazing people, amazing entrepreneurs. And I can't big them up enough. Like, please, everybody watching, continue to support this brother and his wife with everything that Mikkel has going on with her, events and programs and everything. Amazing work these people are doing. So please support. If you could send, a donation to them as well, like, it's worth it, because everything they're doing is amazing, and it's very much needed for all of us.
Yeah, and there's so much more that we have to unfold coming, like stuff with you and I, stuff you individually are doing, stuff I'm doing, stuff that MJ, your wife, is gonna be doing. There's just so much to come. Y'all gotta stay tuned and make sure you subscribe.
Subscribe, no doubt, definitely.
And big up to Kandaka, big up to you.
Big up, sis. Can't wait to connect with you tomorrow
night. And big up to Lynn. He gonna be here tomorrow night too. Lynn, we love you too, brother. We love all y'all. Have a good night. Stay safe, stay sane, and power to the people. Peace.